What's up, makeup minions? I'm Kim Witte, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button below to become part of the Witte Artistry family. This makeup look was recommended by Steph and Ken N for a steampunk robot look, so let's get this tutorial going. Starting off with a clean face with lotion, I am applying primer so the paint goes on smoothly and also comes off nicely. Like always, I am mapping out my design using an eyebrow pencil. For this particular look, since it is my own creation and it's a little bit complicated, I decided to draw out the entire design in my sketchbook first. Basically, what I was going for is sort of carved away skin that has mechanical steampunk anatomy underneath, both for the heart and my forehead and my jaw. Whenever you are creating anatomy, both fantasy and realistic, you want to base it off of real anatomy, so I was following a reference photo of a heart, and I did enlarge it a bit just so you could see the detail. This is also going to be a skin illusion look, so I wanted it to look like my skin had been carved away to show the machinery without any gore. Now I'm just mapping out the eyepiece, my eyebrows, and I'm going to have some gears turning in my head. For all of the body paint in this look, I used Wolf FX, and I'm starting off with the metallic copper color, and I am covering the entire heart, and then going in with the metallic silver and going over choice pipes in my heart. I wanted the steampunk shapes to have a lot of variation and to be broken up visually, so I used the Aztec gold color to go over the remainder of the pipes. Basically, the pipes just imitate the arteries and veins. Add some more silver to your pipes. To fill the extra space, I extended the pipes, both in the Aztec gold and the silver, and wanted to create a couple little kinks just so they look really neat. Just gotta say, I love the color scheme in this makeup look, and I love metallic colors, so this robot was a lot of fun. Time to map out my facial features. I decided to create an orbital bone in silver, and then I'm creating the gears, just their base colors in gold, and then filling the rest in silver. I decided my jaw would be operated by pistons that I painted copper, and then I painted the rest of the jaw silver. Time to give my heart a little bit of dimension. Adding a smidgen of black to that copper color, I decided to go in on the heart on all of the portions that would have a shadow. Basically, the lower parts, the deep crevices to separate the paneling, and then I added some white to the mixture and did the same thing except for highlights. So this time it is on top of the heart and on the highest points of all of the heart. Then to soften up the highlight, I just dabbed over it with a wet brush and then darkened the darks again. And then tap it all out. In order to make it really look 3D, just do this a couple times. Mix together a little black gold and Aztec gold, and don't forget to do a little bit of dancing on the way. And I am creating the shadows for what is going to be the pressure gauge on the heart, and also adding the same color to all of the lower portions of all of my golden pipes. Make sure you keep the shadows on the underside of the pipes, and then just gradually blend it out with some water. Mix together the same two golden colors, but add white, because now we're going to do the highlights on the pipes. When doing highlights, make sure you keep them sort of centralized using a small detail brush. Only make sure they are on the high points of the pipe, like I said before, and then also just blend it out a little bit with a wet brush. Second verse, same as the first, but this time I am doing the silver pipes. So just add a hint of black to the silver, and I am going to go underneath all of the lower portions of the silver pipes and just add some dimension. Make sure you are following a reference photo for a heart this entire time. It will really help you out with the positions of the pipes. And then I am going on the edges of the pipes where the skin is going to cast a shadow and darkening it up. And now I'm switching to highlight color. So I'm going in with a lighter version of the silver and adding it just to the top portions of the pipes and adding some shadows when I need it. Add some dark silver ridges to your aorta and also your superior vena cava. Make sure you are curving the lines with the tubes, and then also add highlights to all of them. The way I designed my mechanical heart is I wanted it to have sort of like a window inside to see all the cool cogs and gears. Basically, I just Googled images of varying gears and stuff, and I used gold, Aztec gold, and copper, and I created shadows on the undersides of these gears and also the little nubs that come off of it. Add a little bit of extra shadow onto the bottom sides of the pipes, and I'm switching to the highlight color yellow and white. My little pressure gauge needs some glass over it, so I decided to mix together white and yellow to create that color, and then also vary the color to a darker version up by the edges. I wanted my heart to have a little bit of extra details, so I added white to my copper and decided to create some cute little rivets in between the different panels of the heart. And then added a couple extra highlights around the ridges and edges. What makes water-activated paint so much fun is you can put a stark highlight on top of another color and then just kind of dab it out and blend it out with water, and it looks great. With a dark silver, I'm separating the center of my cog from its outer ridges, and then spraying it myself with MAC Fix Plus because I was doing this for a while and I didn't want it to crack. Fill in all the negative space with black, and then very precisely add little notches on your power gauge. And it is highlight time. Going in with solid white, I am choosing very selectively and precisely where to put my white highlights. This is on all of the highest points of all the pipes. If you have issues figuring out where they go, I suggest looking at like a metallic lamp, like a lamp head or a desk lamp. It's usually a pretty good indicator of where to put the highlights. Just make sure you're keeping your light source consistent. That is what will really help sell the illusion. I find this part really satisfying. I don't know why. Add little highlights on the gears. And don't forget your pressure gauge. Then with a wet brush, I am dabbing out all of the white highlights just to make them look more realistic. Every pressure gauge needs a little needle, so don't forget to do that like I almost did. Following a reference photo of your mandible, I am now creating some metallic teeth. I just created this with layers of silver, keeping the darker parts on the bottom, and then filled in the negative space with black. Time to outline my little pistons and blend them in a bit. I decided to have my whole jaw silver, and I created a highlight on top near the teeth and blended that out to really make it have some dimension, and then created little cast shadows from the skin and just blended them out a bit. Add a stark highlight to the tops of the teeth and onto my little piston things. I decided that there was a little bit too much negative space, so I wanted to add these cool little connector spots on all of the golden pipes, so just add those and add their highlight, and then add a drop shadow. Time to paint your gears in your forehead. So I am separating the copper just with black because I figured it would be easier to do it that way instead of adding all the little branches manually on the little gears, and then add the tiny little nubs just by tapping the edge of a detail brush down, and it creates a perfect little shape. I'm repeating the same process on both gears and adding stark highlights with white that I just blend out and soften with a wet brush. Fill it in with black and do the same to your head space. I covered my eyelid with a lid thing. Just make your eyelid silver, okay? And then do some dances. Outline the edges of the plates that will make up your facial structure just with a dark silver color. Now I'm creating a couple little rivets because I thought they look cool. My favorite part is when I go within my BH Cosmetics 120 color eyeshadow palette, specifically with my gray color, and go along all of the edges of the pipes to really make them recede, because I do want this to be a skin illusion. It'll basically just look like someone carved out my skin, but there's no gore, so there'll be like little ledges of the skin and the flesh, and all of the machinery is buried beneath my skin. Keep your shadows concentrated darker by the edges, as close to the edge of the skin as you can get, and then it will feather out and gradually fade the further away from the ledge that you get. Now I'm just darkening up the drop shadows on all of the robot panels of where they would get cast a shadow. Using my Wolf Skins palette for the medium color, I created a basic ledge shape and then added a stark white on the upper portions of the carving to really make them pop, and then just blend them out with a wet brush. To make the skin ledges look three-dimensional, add a highlight on the center and then sort of feather it out with a wet brush. To really sell this illusion though, it's important to go in with a dark brown in selective areas. Add a little bit more white to your skin and blend it out. I didn't want to leave my other eye naked, so I decided to go over it with a silver eyeshadow followed by a copper NYX eyeshadow and feathered them out and made them just look a little bit more natural as metallic eyeshadow can. And then I used a gel liner to create some dramatic wings. Or wing, because it's only on one eye. Add a little bit of your favorite mascara. I used Marc Jacobs, and then I covered my skin with some foundation. And then decided to use Tarte blush just to liven my skin up a bit. And then I used matte lipstick by NYX that was sort of a metallic-y cobalt color that was just perfect with all of the silver pipes. I just applied that like you normally do with lipstick, and then I decided to press a little bit of copper eyeshadow into the center because I really thought it just brought the whole look together, and then powder your foundation. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and drop me a comment below. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much, Steph and Ken, for requesting this look. I had so much fun with it.